So the van just made a really weird noise.
I'm gonna try turning it on again. This changes plans. Guess we're not going anywhere this week.
And it's like we're teasing the fans.
I know, we don't want to be doing construction videos, okay? We want to be doing the van life videos.
This is the reality of van life though, if you're thinking about starting it.
Oh, tow truck.
Tow truck.
Welcome to the channel. We're Zoe and Max. We do van life, and most of the time our van's broken down. So, the van is broken down again. We have no idea what's wrong with it. Smoke started coming out of it. It was making weird noises.
Yep.
And now it doesn't even turn on.
We weren't even doing anything crazy. We were just trying to go get some groceries.
Long story short, we're stuck. And we don't know when things are gonna get repaired.
So we didn't want to give you guys just another boring video of the van getting fixed again. We wanted to get real with you guys and share the reasons why you might not want to live in a van or tiny home.
Here are the 10 worst parts about van life.
So number 1,
as we were talking about earlier,
repairs and breakdowns.
So our van specifically, since it's so old, has required a lot of mechanical work, and it wasn't something that I was expecting to take so long and be such a costly and intensive process. When I'm watching YouTube videos, I always see them like, oh, the van breaks down, and then suddenly it's fixed because on YouTube, you guys don't want to watch 30 hours of repairs. So it seems a lot easier and a lot faster and a lot more inexpensive, but the reality is breakdowns suck. They happen all the time, it seems, and repairs are expensive and long.
Especially because the past owners didn't really take care of the van. It's caused us a lot of issues. The owner also wasn't as transparent about things. Like, we asked about certain things and he straight up lied about it. So maybe he just didn't know. Maybe it was like an owner before him. We have no idea. So there's just a lot of things that other people have also done on your old van that might cause issues in the future.
There's parts that aren't original to the van or aren't supposed to be in this van that were put into the van, and then you gotta kind of clean up other people's mess when in reality it might have just been easier to do it from the ground up all yourself.
Yeah, so there's a lot of things that we've definitely learned about repairs and breakdowns with this process, and we're definitely gonna learn a lot more.
One last thing I'll say on repairs is when your van is breaking down and repairs, it kind of shuts down the rest of your life. Like everything has to take a pause, because for us this is our only mode of transportation and it's our home. So when our home is in a repair shop, we gotta find another home, and when our home is not running, then we have to find another way to get around.
And on top of it, we're also photographers, so that this is also our studio, so our work also gets pushed back when this stuff happens.
Anyways, moving on to number 2.
Number 2, lack of showers.
So our van does not have a shower in it. We do not have any real plumbing in it other than a water tank that just provides us fresh water. So you are relying off the kind-heartedness of people that you meet, letting you use their showers, or just using public washrooms, which is also kind of gross.
Yeah, or gyms or recreational centers.
Now, a little hope for you is that during the wintertime, I found that we haven't really been sweating much.
Yeah,
because we're constantly cold, so you're not really sweating. And during the summertime, I've heard that yes, you will sweat more, but you'll also have access to things like rivers and lakes, which you can take a quick dip in to refresh.
I think we're gonna be okay. I think
manageable.
we're pretty used to it.
It's manageable.
Living in Bali, you also get pretty stinky because it's so humid, so pretty used to each other's stink. It's more so if we have a job where we have to go see someone else, we're definitely gonna have to go to the gym. When you're going to work, you definitely don't wanna look dirty, so having a place to shower is definitely important.
Yes. Moving on to number 3, we have lack of privacy and people trying to look into your life.
Yeah.
So it does kind of feel like you're living in a fish tank. You're like a zoo animal in some ways, because you have all these windows around you. You're parking in very public spaces, parks, rec centers, or whatever it is. People do have the ability to look into your home very easily, and that can make you kind of feel uneasy.
It's hard to feel completely private and alone sometimes unless you go completely off grid, which can be hard for us sometimes because we do have to also work. So number 4,
kind of similar to the last one, is feeling like you're constantly doing something wrong or you're doing something illegal. Once again, you are parking in public spaces and you're sleeping there. Even though all the places that we've been parking, you're allowed to just park there, something still feels wrong with it. You still feel like you might just get a knock in the middle of the night and some police officer telling you to get out of there. So that is a little bit weird, and it's been taking me some time to get used to it.
Maybe that'll be something that we get used to with time, but for now, it's been kind of like, are we sure we're allowed to be here?
Yeah, you just find yourself like second guessing and questioning yourself a lot, even though you know everything you're doing is fine.
Yeah.
You just
second guess it a lot.
Second guess. So it causes a bit of anxiety.
Number
5 is hitting your head all the time. This is apparently something that you do get through in your van life journey, but at the start, oh my goodness, we are borderline concussed every day.
I hit my head actually really hard today when you weren't here.
There's tons of like shelves and low things. There's not a lot of space. If you're used to just walking around a house and not thinking about your head hitting things, like every time you leave the door or get into the van and there's a cabinet above you, you hit your head on things and our heads are bruised. We've lost brain cells.
Number 6. Small food storage / fridge storage.
In our van, we only have a fridge that doesn't work. So it's basically just like a cooler. And we have 2 or 3 shelves that we use to store food, which isn't a lot. And this means that you can't buy things in bulk. So you're not going to Costco and getting your food for the next 2 weeks. You're kind of just only buying it for the next 3 days, which is not very cost effective and ends up with a lot of waste.
And you definitely buy a little extra at the grocery store than maybe you were planning because you have a little craving that day. So it's definitely a bit on your bank account if you're not paying attention.
Okay, for number 7, we have cleaning.
You are constantly cleaning in this van. And there's never a moment where you're not cleaning. In fact, we have carpet, so it makes it a lot harder to clean, but I just love my vintage orange carpet.
Nonetheless, cleaning is a pain in the butt.
Yeah.
And you have to do it all the time because this little space gets dirty so quick. And not just dirty, but also like placing things down. You notice a jacket on the bed way more than a normal house because that's like half the house.
Yeah, that your
jacket now on the bed.
Yeah. The next one is dishes. We don't have a sink, so that makes dishes 10 times harder. Hopefully we're gonna get a sink, but right now we don't have one. So how do we clean our dishes?
We got a spray bottle. So this is how we do our dishes. It's always very cold water, so you don't have any warm water, which makes it really hard to clean off like oily dishes. So you want to try and avoid cooking things with fats and oils.
It's nice when you have a fire and then you can kind of use the water and warm it up with a fire. That's really nice.
And also, usually when you're doing the dishes, you have to be in some place where you can dump water, which can be really difficult if you're just leaked water all over a bed. So if you're just parked up at Walmart, you're not going to be able to go outside and do your dishes.
Yeah.
Now, that's not for all vans. Most vans, I think, most van builds will have a little sink in their van build, and we probably will end up with one too. But for now, for the very basic van builds, doing your dishes is a pain in the butt.
So number 9 is little to no access to power or Wi-Fi.
So being digital nomads, we need a lot of power and Wi-Fi, but the van has very limited amount. We have one small battery that keeps us in general charged and allows us to turn on little lights. But other than that, we have to rely on charging things in other places. So that's going into Starbucks, using their Wi-Fi and power to charge up our camera batteries and stuff. And that's a lot more inconvenient. Trying to find the place to go to, drive there, find parking, park, go order something, go try and find a seat that's next to the power plugs, but they're all taken, so you gotta wait. It's a big process and it does get frustrating, especially when you're in a rush.
We don't have one of those fancy solar systems yet. We're just 2 young kids who are photographers. We're trying to get all these things, but we don't really have the money for everything yet. So we have to go with the flow.
For now, we're living off of Starbucks.
Love you, Starbucks. So number 10 is that you don't have an address anymore.
We've been lucky enough to be able to park outside my parents' house, and that gives us the ability to ship things on Amazon. But if you're just off-grid, Amazon ain't coming to you. They're not showing up to Walmart and delivering your package.
And your driver's license, you need to be able to show people that you actually have a place of residency, because that's really important.
And then there's things like taxes, where they're like, oh, you want to deduct the tax for your house? What's the address? And you're like, well, my house is my van. It doesn't have an address.
Yeah, it gets really tricky. So there's like so many little things you have to just ask people about, and they probably won't know the answers, so they have to go ask someone else.
And that's all for our list. Now, a couple little bonus ones that we have that aren't on our list because they don't affect us as much.
Yeah.
But if you can't handle being close with your partner all the time,
probably not for you.
Beware.
It's not that big of a difference for us, but if you need your personal space,
good luck finding it. There ain't much inside of here.
There ain't
now
much.
you can go out and do your own thing. You go for a little walk or whatever.
And if you're doing it by yourself, be aware that it can get kind of lonely. It might help to have a companion, whether that's an animal or a human.
Rough.
Thank you guys for watching this video, and we will see you next Saturday.
If you guys haven't subscribed yet, just
hit the subscribe button.
anyways, guys, see you guys in the next one.
See you next week.
Bye bye.
You're the one who gets more stinky. I just don't say anything because I'm nice. Cut that.
Sorry.
Number 8. Oh, that's 10.
Did you just try and stab me? If there's anybody that's like really wealthy watching this video, please buy us a nice new Sprinter van. We just need a van that works, guys.